Hi, this is DC Lavoie, giving you well, a little bit of work that I needed to get done on the river scene. As you can see, the backdrop is pretty bare, so that's something I eventually am going to have to paint. I'm going to paint actually a backdrop. I'm a little bit nervous about it. Never really done painting a backdrop. I've normally used photos or pictures for the backdrop, but well, within time, as you can probably see, the paper does start to buckle. I guess you live and learn a little bit. So eventually you find out that, you know, whatever may look good in the beginning, after a couple of years, might end up giving you some problems. So I decided to go something with a little bit more permanent. So I've put in a backdrop using a tempered board, and what I want to do is essentially paint the a mountain range well, mountain range, more like a hill, forested area in the backdrop. Well, what I really want to focus a little bit of my attention on is this part right here. Now, this part is a beam. It's part of my layout that I knew was going to be a problem when I was going to design the river scene. And I initially was going to paint it black to go with the fascia board, because I'm going to be painting the fascia board black. But last night my brother kind of suggested to me that I try to blend it in with the terrain a little bit by using the gray colors and maybe some bushes and some foliage on the edge here, and try and see if you can just somehow incorporate it a little bit better into the scene. So that's exactly what I'm going to try and do. Haven't done it before. This is a little bit of an eyesore on this scene, so I want to try and see if I can either blend it in or make it disappear. So stay tuned for that. I'll see what I'm going to try and blend it in, and we'll see how it comes out. So stay tuned. Alright, I'm back. I've completed the support beam of my layout to cover up the beam that was so plainly evident when you were coming on the river scene. So what I've done here is I just basically covered it up with some ground foliage, some lichen, colored autumn lichen. Painted the support beam in a grayish tone, same colors that I used for the rock faces, and try and blended it in a little bit better with the surroundings. I mentioned before I was going to paint it black along with the fascia when I eventually do paint it black, though. But my brother suggested to blend it into the river scene, into the scenery, which is what I did, and I think it was a better choice. It looks pretty good. The support beam is not so evident. It's you know, your eye can easily pass over it, and you wouldn't take too much of notice of it. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit here. I got some nice wildlife here. A couple of deers taking in some water, and there you can see in the background a mother and her cubs. I think the deer are pretty safe. I think the mother is more concerned about keeping the cubs entertained as opposed to crossing the river having a bit of lunch. So I'm pulling back a little bit on the scenery here. I've added some more wildlife here also as well. Some deer on the top of the hill there, just to add some interest. It's going along the main line of the CP&S. So I think the beam came out pretty good. It's definitely blended in a little bit more, and it's not as ghastly as it was before. So great tip from my brother. This is DC Lavoie, and thanks for watching.